Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Step by Step. Today we got a special one. I was kind of doing some research, or I guess more or less just playing the games and stuff like that from back in the day. Um, and I wanted to do for a map for the classes of. Or not the classes, but I guess the jobs of Final Fantasy characters. So today, I think we're gonna do the Red Mage. So let's get into it. I skipped ahead just a little bit in the video because it took me quite a while to do this one. I think it was like 44 minutes total. And as you can kind of see, we got the layout of what looks like a tower, and I decided to do a tower because I don't know, it just felt right for a red mage. So we decided to decorate the first floor with, sorry about the cats in the background if you do hear them, they're just saying hi. We went with, Inkarnate doesn't have a lot of like symbols and stuff like that. So I was going to do like a symbol of the Red Mage, which is like a circle with a pointed star with a very long point at the top, like in the middle. But I went with the hat for now. As you can see in the product at the end, I did change that symbol. I just got a transparent layer. Changed it, and then you can download it into Inkarnate and use your own like stickers or token or whatever you want to call them in Inkarnate. Here I'm placing a door. Doors are kind of hard for me because again, this door leads to nothing, so all you need is for it to kind of cover the wall to represent that there's a door there, not a wall. So that's what I kind of did. Kind of tried to cover it up with another wall, but it just, I don't know. To me, it didn't look right, so we deleted it. And then we went with windows. I wanted some decent sized windows to let in the sun. So we went with a big window at the bottom floor. And then we went with I want to say, two windows on each side on the floor above the second floor. And then I think we went with 2 more windows on the third floor, but obviously none in the basement. There's no windows in the basement. I'm trying to line them up. Doing a pretty good job. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but as close as it can be too. And your players won't notice because again, this is a map. Like they're not gonna notice those tiny little details of if it's like misplaced or something like that. But anyway, here, I think we went with like we wanted to get a table in here, kind of like a dining table. And we went with like, maybe we should put it here, but it didn't really fit. So I went with like, see, I just changed it. And we went over here. And then grabbed some red chairs too. Again, this is a very red, that's kind of the whole point, Red Mage, And then we moved the chairs, and I think we resized the table too. It's just all kind of uneven a little bit because they don't really fit in the boxes. But kind of maneuvered it a little bit to where people can actually like sit at the end of the tables. And then we went with the stairs. Now the stairs were really tricky for me because what I really wanted to do is from the game. It's just a staircase, you know. It's nothing too serious. It's just a staircase up or a staircase down. There's no rhyme or reason to them. But I went ahead and I grabbed a spiral staircase, and I was like, maybe that'll work. We went with like kind of a red theme. That kind of works. And I was like, all right, well, we'll do it. No, and we'll just put them in the corners. And yeah, it kind of just it does work for the purposes of a staircase, but it's not really realistic in my eyes. Not a whole lot anyway. And then of course, you know, we were gonna do a staircase for the sorry about that. We found the ladder and chose a ladder for the basement. We went ahead and put some pillars up, kind of indicating that is a higher floor. That's kind of how I indicate to my players that you're going up, like you're not going down. And then as for the other staircases, there is a down, and you'll see that I kind of like darken the staircase after that fact. And there we go. We're gonna copy again. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I realized like at the top there shouldn't be more staircases that go up. So I do believe we got rid of them, but if they're still there, you know, it's not that big a deal. See, here's me trying my best to be like, yep, it's like the top of the staircase right there. And then I delete these or put them underneath. But again, it doesn't look right. So I went with this, turned it all the way down, and then what I did was you get the dark, and then you kind of darken it just a little bit to where you know that's a downwards staircase. Darken it down here, then you darken it like, oh yes, since it's the bottom, you don't darken it. We're gonna add some chests. Gotta have some place to put your loot, and go with that. And I think we also decided to be like, oh well, let's put a chair here, you know, just a lounge chair. And what's a lounge chair without bookshelf? Now I had a really hard time just finding a bookshelf. I kept going up and down, looking for the bookshelf. I probably passed it twice now. And then at one point I'm like, okay, let's just go slow, go through every single one. Is there a bookshelf? Here we go. Bookshelf. Yeah, see, you could just type it in. If you typed it in, you would have found it by now, but we found it. We're gonna go ahead and draw a wall. Now this is what I kind of like about the walls, is you can resize them. You can put them underneath the layer, and then you can layer the wall that you already have. So there's bookshelves underneath the wall, which I think is pretty cool. We went ahead and changed the area of the chair. Went ahead and added some like decorations. Like there's a couch that we kind of resized and put over here. Put it underneath the wall again and kind of moved it a little bit. And then we added some barrels to the side there. And again, for some reason, they took away the instant copy effect that you get when you click on an object that has already been altered, and then click the inventory or the sticker collection, basically replanting that same sticker, but with they took away the fact that it copies the same stats, I guess, you know, quote unquote stats of the item that you just altered, so that you have to alter it again. or just duplicate, which I assume was the intended purpose, to use the duplicate function more often than, and it saves on like memory, I want to say. But still, it was a very convenient thing to just click on something and then be able to replant the same thing. Here I am doing the basement. We're gonna do a big old bonfire with a cauldron on it. We're gonna go with blue flames because I thought that was thematic. If you know, it's a good juxtaposition of colors. So we went with blue flames. We went with the cauldron, and we turned the cauldron black. We turned the saturation down, the contrast up, and of course the brightness low. And then we went with some actual fire. Again, we changed this from red fire or green fire to blue fire. And I'm pretty sure I changed this in the final cut. Again, there's a couple changes that I do in a lot of the final cuts. I always, scrub it a little bit, fix some mistakes here and there. But I really do try my best to make the best map I think I can make. Like if I'm not doing my best, then it's not ultimately worth it. And here you can see I did again the bookshelf thing. It's a little off kilter, but I think that's okay too, because you can kind of tell. What I really should have done is do each individual wall and then size them all together, which I might have done in the final cut, but again, it's always going to be changed in the final cut. So anyway, I was going to go with a summoning circle, but instead we were like, all right, let's just decorate it. So there's a little trunk full for books. There's I think I added a scroll pouch. We added some desks. I think we added the same desk kind of upstairs, but we like shifted the colors a little bit. We added this desk in the side there, and we kind of put it up against the wall so that it kind of comes together. We went ahead and started doing the second floor, which I wanted to say was more or less like the living quarters of the Red Mage. So this one is definitely going to have like different desks, but we ended up using the same desk because again we can. We went with the same, again, the same rug, but we went with the hat, but again I changed it at the end. And we went ahead and put the rug there. Here I am just basically copying and pasting that over there, or duplicating, because again, you can't just click on something and have it appear as the item that you are about to put down. We added a globe, or a little like cabinet globe thing. And then I was kind of wondering what else to put in the bedroom, and I was like, oh wait, probably, I don't know, a bed. But first, I wanted to do some curtains. I rarely do curtains, just because I rarely do buildings with like windows. Because again, most of my adventures are in like, the forest or a cave where windows aren't really a thing. So obviously I wouldn't put curtains on a window if there is no windows. But anyway, we went with a simple like cupboard, and we kind of sized it up to be more like a standing dresser. And then we went with 2 side tables. We put them, again, the layers do matter. Obviously, you don't want your side tables on top of the wall, you want them behind the wall, to indicate that the wall is like overlapping, which it would. We went with a bed. Now I thought I could turn this blue bed red with like a simple like color hue shift, but it ultimately turned the bed blue, which is not what I wanted at all. As you could tell, I get kind of frustrated with this one. I even like try and do the different like saturations, light difference, darkness, and I was like, no, I'll do a red bed. And there was a red bed, but I was like, it's whatever. So we went with instead this bed, switched it up, moved it to the back, and then we kind of just left it there, and it looks great. I think it looks great. Now, what I was thinking with this room in particular is I probably should keep the lighting consistent. So if there's light coming from the bottom, if you see from the north of the tower, then it would come in at an angle through the side windows. And I was like, okay, let's do that. And then for the top of the tower, I think we all know what's coming. I went ahead and put a kind of like a summoning circle kind of thing, but it is not for summoning anything. Well, maybe not. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I know it was kind of a longer one, but sometimes like these longer maps, sometimes it does take a while. I try and get it done within 30 minutes, but obviously, you gotta go to the bathroom, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Some things might not work out, so you're constantly struggling with certain map details and stuff like that. And I also want to give a shout out to Red Mage GM. Honestly, some of his content kind of, I don't know, it just reminded me of, my Final Fantasy, like my guy, my little DM guy is literally, a black mage from Final Fantasy. So I wanted to give a little homage to him, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna do a black mage, either tower or tomb. I was thinking a tomb because that'd be pretty cool. But we'll see. But a big shout out to Red Mage GM, I believe is his name. I might correct it here if I'm wrong, but I do remember a couple videos I watched of him like a week ago, and it just reminded me, hey, there's ideas everywhere, and by all means, guys, please go to my Patreon. Everything's free now, by the way. All you got to do is sign up as a member, and pretty much everything I upload there is free. So take it, run with it, love it, hate it, whatever you choose to do. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.